Hello, everyone. R.A. Martinez, president of MAPS Global, and I wanted to communicate some updates to those of you who are following us, MAPS Global, and who have supported and prayed for us over the years. A few updates on how we are responding to the current situation in Israel and Gaza. If you saw, about a week ago, I sent out some prayer points on how we're praying for the situation. But now it's become clear that there's an assignment for us that God has invited us into as a spiritual family. I want to tell you a little bit of the background story so that you can appreciate the moment that we find ourselves in. At the beginning of this year, in January, the Lord spoke to our leadership team very, very clearly and somewhat out of the blue, and he said, shaking is coming to Israel this year. And it was clear to us that the Lord was speaking to us, and he was inviting us in this, what we discerned the Lord was speaking, that we were to prepare to participate with the Lord when shaking comes to Israel. Well, about 5 months after that, we participated with a global fast in May for watchmen to be set on the wall for Jerusalem, Isaiah 62. And also praying during that fast for us here in our global prayer room, we were praying for the gospel to continue to bear fruit in the nations surrounding Israel and for the fullness of the Gentiles, including the harvest in the Muslim world. Well, on that fast, the leaders in our long-term team that lead the Levant base, they began to ask the Lord if there was a specific assignment that they were to respond to, and they, a few months ago, planned to do a 50 hours of nonstop prayer and worship in the Levant, and they planned it for this week, October 19th through the 21st. Now, they could have never known or anticipated what was going to transpire in the region leading up to this week. Well, the Levant base and team began to talk with our global family about the strategic timing of this 50 hours. And as we were talking, our Middle East Missions Base and leaders said, we're going to join in as well. And so now our Middle East Missions Base is going to participate, and they're going to host their own 50 hours. And we have a few short-term teams that have flown in to help support that 50 hours. Well, about a week ago, I reached out to both of our leaders and said, I think that we're supposed to call the entire region surrounding Israel and Gaza and intercessors in Israel itself to join with us. And so over the last week, we have now spread that 50-hour prayer meeting, not only in the Levant and the Middle East, but now in Egypt. The House of Prayer in Egypt is joining with us in this 50 hours. And our friends who run a House of Prayer in Nazareth in Israel will be joining us as well for the 50 hours. And so what's going to transpire in the next 3 days from when I'm shooting this video, October 19th to the 21st, is that there is going to be prayer, worship, and cries for mercy arising out of every nation surrounding Israel and in Israel itself for 50 hours. We believe this is a Genesis 18 moment where the Lord Jesus turns and says, shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? And the Lord tells Abraham his plans for the city. And Abraham's response is to begin to ask the Lord for mercy and for lives to be spared, even as the Lord is moving in that city, Sodom and Gomorrah, and in that region. And we feel very strongly that this prayer meeting, 50-hour prayer meeting that's going to be in concert in 4 different locations around this conflict is to be a Genesis 18-like prayer meeting, that we are to ask the Lord for mercy, for lives to be spared, for the conflict to de-escalate, and for a spirit of awakening to resound throughout the region, even in the midst of conflict. So, thank you for praying with us, standing with us. Please pray for our missions bases and our short-term teams. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens now overseas with proximity to the conflict. But our teams are full of faith. They believe they're on divine assignment. And so we're going to be even praying here in Richmond with them as we together lift up our voice and ask the Lord for mercy across the entire region. Thank you so much for supporting us, and we'll see you soon.